Representative Tiffany, let me start with you. Do you think I'm being unfair in saying what are Republicans doing, saying, oh, there's this enormous double standard. This shows you that Hur is protecting Biden?
Well, there's clearly a double standard of justice, Dan. I don't agree with you that there is not a double standard of justice. I mean, take a look at the IRS whistleblowers, and they were denied by the Department of Justice from providing full information in the investigation in regards to the Biden family. 20 shell companies, over $20 million coming through those shell companies. They've clearly shown that they're going to put their finger on the scale to make sure that President Biden is not held fully accountable for his actions.
Well, then why would they be, for example, indicting Bob Menendez, investigating Cori Bush, investigating Eric Adams, indicting former Democratic Congressman T.J. Cox, indicting the former head of the Louisiana Democratic Party, Karen Carter Peterson? Andrew Gillum was tried. I mean, these are all prominent Democrats that the DOJ is going after.
Well, you look at the Espionage Act, and it fulfills all three requirements. What President Biden did as then Vice President or citizen Joe Biden, it fulfills all three of the requirements in order to charge someone under the Espionage Act.
So you think he's corrupt?
Hur went all the way up to the line, and then he backed down. And I would say to you also, Dan, Durham did the same thing.
So you think that he's corrupt? Robert Hur, you think he's been corrupted by the Department of Justice to protect Biden?
No, I don't think he's been corrupted, but I think that he won't take the next step. Like the IRS whistleblowers, they showed true bravery in saying that we are going to take this to its logical end. The Department of Justice stopped it, and the Department of Justice is, once again, taking that step now of protecting Joe Biden. They don't want to have full accountability for the American people.
Representative Ivey, same sort of question to you. It sounds like Democrats are alleging that he's been corrupted, right? It sounds like some are saying that he's including this information about Biden's memory in the report in a specific political effort to help Donald Trump.
Well, my view is that it was just bad judgment on his part. I think he testified that basically he didn't expect it to blow up in the way that it did. I think Congressman Schiff said, well, you must be pretty naive. I think he's a smart lawyer, but maybe doesn't understand politics in the ways of Washington in this regard. But to the larger point, though, about two tiers of justice, you're right about the Democrats who've been charged by this Department of Justice under Merrick Garland. You're also, remember, Vice President Pence was cleared by this Department of Justice, even though he's a Republican. And keep in mind that Hur is not just a Trump appointee, but he's been Republican all the way through. He clerked for Chief Justice Rehnquist. He worked for Rod Rosenstein at the U.S. Attorney's Office. He's a career Republican, so I think it's a real stretch to kind of suggest that all of a sudden he's going to turn and become, this Praetorian Guardsman for the for Joe Biden. I just don't buy it.
But Representative Ivey, I still, though, am concerned about the way that so many in your party talk about him, right? And as you can see, I'm concerned about the way both sides have been talking about it. But this notion, again, that he is somehow corrupted, right? And it sounds like you're not taking that position, that he is corrupted and political. But would you agree that he did not put in the material he did in an effort to help Donald Trump?
No. I mean, I think the comparison he drew between Biden and Trump showed the dramatic contrast between the two. Trump's conduct, I think, and why it justified him being indicted and prosecution moving forward. And I think it's pretty clear-cut on the merits. The cooperation piece, Trump lying about where documents were, even lying to his attorneys and getting them to lie on his behalf. I mean, you know this from your experience. It's extremely rare for a court to order a criminal defense lawyer to testify against his client. But Trump went so far in lying to his attorney that they had to go there. So super unusual circumstances. The Pence, declination is, I think, a clear contrast. It shows they weren't out to get this guy. And remember, the White House sent letters to her asking him to tone down this particular aspect of the report, but Merrick Garland didn't make him do it, and he didn't do it. So if you can't get him to even tone down the report, are we seriously going to say that he was pressured into moving forward with the decision on declining to prosecute Biden? I just don't think it adds up.
And Representative Tiffany, yeah, go ahead, please.
He was vice president. Donald Trump was president.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.